Good morning, it is episode 140 on the RetroBrown channel. We are doing a Tauros solo run, and this one has been highly anticipated, especially by WooperGoat. Yes, WooperGoat, not Overgoat. Sorry, Overgoat, but this one is for WooperGoat. He has requested this one so much, and I've made him wait far too long for this. So yeah, WooperGoat, you are our rival for today. I hope you enjoy this video, and I hope it lives up to the expectation that we've been waiting for. Let's get started with this video, and for some reason my footage is so like it looks like I'm doing like ninjas like moving really fast. It's very weird, but either way, let's get started with this run. Tauros is a powerhouse of competitive Pokemon for Gen 1. It's got a base stat total of 490, majority of that's in its attack and its speed, whopping 110 speed, sorry. And the reason why this is so good in competitive is because it gets Stab Hyperbeam, which is a great move, but it also gets Earthquake, Fissure, Fire Blast, Ice Beam, Blizzard, Body Slam. Some incredible moves to get there. And it also means as well, because of its very high speed stat, it gets a lot of critical hits. And those critical hits make the difference. It can outspeed things, it can hit ridiculously hard. And it just becomes an absolute powerhouse competitive Pokemon. There's not far too much that can stand up to it. It is one of the top tier Pokemon. But is it that good in a solo run? That's the question we're going to answer today. And the question is, well, we only get Tackle to start off with until level 21. Is this going to be enough to take on Brock, especially at the level cap and at minimum battles? Because I'm trying to do this one at minimum battles. But annoyingly, we do get poisoned by the very first bug catcher in Viridian Forest, which is always a nightmare because we don't have much HP to work with at level 5, and the antidote is only just above, so we can reach that and we actually can heal ourselves up to then progress through this. When we get to the edge of Viridian Forest, we can pick up 2 more potions and go against the final bug catcher. This bug catcher has only got 1 level 9 Weedle, and hopefully we don't get poisoned again, because I don't know if we take any damage if we'll be able to get to the Pokemon Center. But we do get through and we progress on to Pewter City. Now Pewter City, of course, is the rock type gym, but the Light Years trainer, which I am going to go against, will just give us some very well needed experience. We're only level 8 and we're not even one-shotting that Diglett, which is pretty worrying because we are, well, it does have very bad defenses. And of course the Sandshrew is kind of annoying, but we do manage to beat him and move on to Brock. Now here's the problem. Both Geodude and Onix have got ridiculous defenses. Normal is resisted by Rock, and of course they're going to increase their defenses with Defense Curl. We're hoping for critical hits, but even critical hits aren't doing very much at level 9. So unless we can get past this Geodude and get incredibly lucky, we're going to take a loss here at level 9. Which is just going to happen. Didn't even get past the Geodude. So let's go up a couple of levels and see how we do here. But we actually managed... We tried so many times at every level, but it was only at level 14, at the level cap of this gym, where we actually got a chance where we could win. We're still doing ridiculously low damage on the Onix, and of course it has the move Bide. Now when you've only got one move to work with, Bide is going to hit you every single time. It's really annoying. And of course, he goes for Bide a couple of times. If we'd been hitting with critical hits, we wouldn't have had a chance to actually win this, and we're already at 12 HP finishing off this fight. But we do win, and that's a good thing, because now we can progress on to Cerulean City. And Cerulean City has its own little problems, but Cerulean City shouldn't be too much of a problem for us. It's water-type gym, and although our special is kind of low, we should have enough bulk behind us to make it work. Progressing through to the next route, of course, we get up a couple levels. We have to go against some mandatory trainers. You cannot get around these unless you use a wall glitch, and I don't use that on this channel. Once we've beaten these youngsters, I actually decided to try something different. So this might only save us a couple of seconds, but you can go against this last trainer here instead of the bug catcher below. She's got less Pokemon in her team, so by the time you've beaten her, gone back, and then press round, you can get right past the bug catcher with 4 Pokemon. So hopefully that saves us a couple of seconds time, because I'm hoping to get this thing into SS tier. If it's the best Pokemon in competitive, I want it one of the best Pokemon in solo run as well. When we get into Mount Moon, we get disabled by the very first Grimer on the Super Nerd. Thankfully we do manage to shake off the disabled, but here we go, we actually managed to get through. We're already going through at level 17 here, bringing ourselves into Cerulean. Cerulean, like I said, it could be a problem, it might not be a problem. We'll see how we do against Misty to start off with. So Misty, of course, has got a Staryu, and she also has a Starmie. The Staryu, kind of defensively weak, but that's fine. We've got 54 HP to work with. And wow, we are not dealing out enough with tackle, and Bubble Beam is doing 28 points of damage. That's an easy loss there. So I'm going to go and get some more HP and some more levels, going against the rival on Nugget Bridge. WooperGoat here is now upped his team to have a Pidgeotto, an Abra, a Rattata, and of course the Charmander, which we started against. Why Charmander? Pretty much because our special is our lowest stat, using Thunderbolt on it may not be the way to go forward. I'm going to go purely physical attacking when I can. And even though the Charizard won't have the greatest defenses, it means we don't have anything that's super effective against it. I did debate going against the Blastoise, but I didn't really want to go and rely on Thunderbolt. Ice Beam was a much better move to be using for the majority of the league. And, oh man, we lost against Starmie again, level 20 now. Okay, let's try this again. If we get better luck, which we do against the Staryu because we go for an extra fend, we might do better against the Starmie. We get a crit to start off with, and then she only just goes for tackle. I'll take that. Third time win. Kind of annoying, but we still managed to get through pretty comfortably at the level cap. That brings us down to the SSN in Vermilion City, and we are going to go and pick up one of the most crucial moves for this run. Say it with me, it is TM28 Body Slam. TM08. What am I talking about? I've done 140 of these videos. Why didn't I know that off the top of my head? Yeah, TM08 Body Slam. Because we're a normal type Pokemon, we get stab bonus on this, and this is going to make Tauros an absolute beast. Like, we're at level 22 here. We're nearly one-shotting everything with Body Slam. We one-shotted the Raticate with a crit. The Kadabra's got pretty bad defenses, so I expected that. But even the Charmeleon, we do one-shot with Body Slam. And that makes me very confident for the next gym, because a lot of Surge's Pokemon, very, very, very defensively weak. And that's what we like to see when we're a physical attacker. So once we've waved the SSN goodbye, we will head over to Vermilion's gym, and we will go and do the switch puzzle, which I always hate. Yeah, this little thing can always trip me up, and if I'm not in it, if luck's not on my side, I might be here for a good 5 minutes trying to find the right combination. But sometimes, if you find it randomly on the other side of the room, just go to the top left and you'll find the switch. Let's see how we do against Surge anyway. And this might be the absolute quickest fight that we'll have in this entire run. 3 Body Slams, 3 KOs. That easy. This is how good Tauros is as soon as it gets Body Slam. And that's the third badge done, which means we can head over to Rock Tunnel, but we're going to dig from this house. Yes, this is a little speedrunning shortcut there. You can dig from that house to get back to Cerulean if you didn't go to the Poké Center in Vermilion. This means now we can go towards the Rappinlash, and the Rappinlash, her Pokemon are very defensively weak as well. Go with Physical Attacker with a normal type move. You'll do alright in this fight. If you can outspeed, even better, because they won't put a status effect on top of you. In Rock Tunnel though, we find another big problem, and that's going to be the Exploring Hiker. But at level 26, we actually have enough bulk and power where Body Slam is nearly two-shotting Geodudes. The Graveler helps us out with a self-destruct, and we head into Lavender Tower. Lavender Tower, of course, might be a problem later on. We're going to have to rely on special moves to get through it, because we won't be able to hit any of the ghosts with normal type moves. And you can't get Earthquake until afterwards. After this, I realised that I hadn't put Battle Style onto set, which means that I'm not going to have them extra frames where you are also seeing that I'm trying to change Pokemon. It's annoying the shit out of me. But either way, now we've switched that off, we should be fine. We can get through these a little bit quicker. The rival in Lavender Tower, WooperGoat as well. I'm not going to lie, this was a very easy fight for us, but the execute might be a problem later on. It's kind of bulky, and if it doesn't go down to 1 Body Slam, I'm not too sure what else we can work with unless we picked up Ice Beam soon. Which, of course, we are going to, because its utility is just ridiculously good in this game. And we want to make sure we can hit Lance for super effective damage later on. This also means now we can head on to Celadon City. It's easier to go through the grass and cut through. And annoyingly, I bumped into an extra trainer that I shouldn't have. He goes down pretty quickly though. Up until this point in the video, and since we got Body Slam, it's just the Body Slam show. We might as well call this Tauros like a wrestler, because it's all it's doing is just Body Slamming things. But in Celadon, we can pick up some other moves, and of course, you know which move I'm going to go for here. We're going to go and get the coin case after we... Should we go? Yeah, we'll go get the coin case first. Once we've got the coin case, we can go gambling, which, yeah, they put this in a 3+ game. We pick up some coins, and then by the time we finally got 9,900, we've got enough coins here to work with for anything we want from the game corner, like prizes. So we're going to go and pick up one move, and that is going to be Hyperbeam. Yes, this is ridiculously overpowered at this point in the game, but it's 150 power with stat bonus, and with a really high attack stat, there's not really much that's going to stand up to us here. We Hyperbeam our way through the entire Erica fight, and not even the Vileplume can stand up to it. This thing is on crack. It's on steroids. The bull has literally got the testosterone, and it is just charging forward. Oh my god, what am I saying? Anyway, now we've got 4 gym badges. We're going to go and pick up a few little errands. We need to go and pick up HMO2 Fly for our Spearow, which doesn't get used in battle. It's used purely as a HM slave, just to traverse the region a lot quicker. And we're also going to go to the department store, because right on the top we can also go and pick up the Ice Beam TM. Now, I went into this run thinking we could also learn Rock Slide. Unfortunately, Tauros does not learn Rock Slide, and that makes me sad, because I would rather have Rock Slide over Ice Beam, just for the fact that it would make Lance a lot easier, and it takes advantage of our attack stat, not our special attack stat. That then brings us to Giovanni in the Rocket Underground, and from here we're just Ice Beaming our way through. Kangaskhan can actually tank a Hyper Beam, which is very surprising. I've been using Kangaskhan in a few of the challenge videos recently, and honestly, I didn't think it was that bulky. It's great in Gen 6 and Gen 7 onwards when it got Mega Kangaskhan, but in Gen 1, I honestly think Kangaskhan is very lacking. If you're a Kangaskhan fan out there, I'm very sorry, but I'm just not a big fan of it in this generation. That brings us to the Lavender Tower. We've got the Poker Flute, and instead of going over to Fuchsia, we're going straight to Silph Co. If we can do it at this level where we're in the low to mid 30s, we should be flying through this game. We're going to go to floor 10 first and pick up the Earthquake TM, because that'll help us out in so many fights upcoming, especially when we get to Koga. You just need to be one rocket here, pick up the TM26, and then head back down to floor 5, where you can then get through Silph Co the absolute quickest way. You go down here, you have to be one more rocket, and then after this guy, you only have the rival left to go. One Hyper Beam to the face gets us a win. We pick up the card key, and then you swing a left through this door here, and then head to the rival, because you're now back on floor 3. The rival here, this is usually a very hard fight. Is it going to be hard here though? Well, soon find out. Body Slam gets a crit on the Pidgeot. We're level 34 here, and we're not one-shotting all the Pokemon, so the level cap is really getting back up to us here. But Body Slam is just such a reliable move. I don't need to worry all too much. We're even outspeeding the Alakazam, which usually outspeeds everything. We get to the Charizard and Hyper Beam for the win. That is a first time Rival 5 win. Not many Pokemon can actually do that, and especially at such a low level. Once we picked up our ride Lapras, we will head over to Giovanni for the next fight, and I don't think I've got to worry too much about him. His rockets aren't much of a problem. Tauros is just steaming through everything. We've not lost really since, I think, Misty, and that's quite a long way away in the progression of this game. Once we get into Giovanni though, we're just going to Body Slam and Hyper Beam our way through. We even try an Earthquake or two just to try it out. And then we get to the Rhyhorn. One Ice Beam will one-shot that. And then that brings us to Nidoqueen. I was kind of hoping for a freeze there. We haven't had a freeze yet, but we get through and we finish Silph Co at level 37. Since we're in Saffron, we might as well dig out and go against Sabrina. If we can beat her here, we don't have to come back and then waste some more time. But this one should be a little bit weird. If we can get through this entire thing with outspeeding everything, we'll be fine. And so far, we are outspeeding everything. Even on the Venomoth here, I decided to go to Earthquake instead of Body Slam, because I've really overused Body Slam this entire run. Alakazam's got terrible defense, it puts us on 4 HP, and then a Hyper Beam gets us the win. That's a first time win against Sabrina as well. We've still not lost since Misty. I'm very, very happy about this. Once we've traversed out of the teleports here, we now need to head down to Fuchsia City. You have to get there through Celadon after you wake up the Snorlax. And I feel like the Snorlax is just chilling here. We're the rude ones that are coming through and saying, Nah. You need to wake up, you need to move. It's like he's it's like he's a squatter on that on the bike path. I don't know what I'm saying. This is a very weird day for me, in all honesty. Football season started. Middlesbrough Football Club are not doing well. They're actually doing very well so far. They've got 3 wins out of 3, and I'm still not convinced by the manager. Yeah. Anyway, enough about football. You're not here to talk about football. You are here to talk about Pokemon. You're here to watch Pokemon. That brings us into... Oh, damn it. I went against an extra trainer again. Okay, we are in Koga's gym. With us having Earthquake on our moveset, this should be ridiculously easy for us to get through. The only thing I'm really worried about is a self-destruct from the Weezing. That's all I'm really worried about. All the trainers here usually are a lot more powerful from him than Koga, but still, we are getting through this so easily. Let's see how we do against Koga anyway. So, Koga is up. Earthquake is a one-shot on Coffin. This is a good start. It's not a one-shot on Muck though, and then we get Earthquake disabled. I hate that move, disabled. Honestly, it's such an annoying move. We finally see a self-destruct right at the end, but our bulk means we only take half damage. That is 6 gym badges, and we can now head down to Cinnabar Island. But before that, we need to, of course, go to the Safari Zone. We need to go and pick up our HMO 3, and we need to pick up HMO 4 Strength. But I'm going to show you here the quickest route to get through here. If you've got no wild cheat on, which sometimes I do, this time I haven't got it on, I've just edited out all the random fights, you can get through in less than about 40 seconds really. You just need to traverse around things. You can pick up a protein on the top there, but we want to pick up the gold teeth because you need that for HMO 4. And then you go in this house, pick up Surf from this guy, and then you can go outside and actually dig out of here. This is another little speedrunning trick that you can do. After that, you go and pick up HMO 4 from the Warden. You can also pick up rare candy if you want, but I'm actually not picking up many rare candies on the way. I'm trying to go for as good a time as I've got here. Once we've got Surf and Strength, we can then surf all the way down to Cinnabar Island for our next fight against Blaine, the Fire-type trainer. And considering we've got Earthquake, I think we'll be alright here. Most of his Pokemon aren't most defensive. So let's see how we do. Blaine, of course, he starts off with Growlithe, and it goes down to Body Slam. That poor dog, that poor horse. Oh my god, this bull is just tearing through Kanto. Even Arcanine, it just puffs out a little Ember, and we get the win. We have still not lost since Misty. This thing is just charging forward. Let's head into the 8th gym now, and again, I don't think we're going to stop this raging bull. It is literally just smashing its way through everything. There are 2 mandatory trainers that we need to deal with in this gym, and pretty much they can easily get taken down by Earthquake, Ice Beam, Body Slam. There's not too much they can do against us. We take a little bit of chip damage from Fury Attack, but this guy here has got 3 Pokemon. If he had 1 Pokemon less, I'd be more happy with him, but it's just wasting my time right now that he's got 3 Pokemon, so we just Hyper Beam for the crit. Level 42, we're going into the Giovanni fight, and this fight, I'm only really scared of the Dugtrio, really. Just because it probably could outspeed us. With us only being level 42 as well, we are massively under level compared to his whole team apart from the Dugtrio, but we finally get a freeze of Ice Beam and it comes on the Dugtrio. That is just poetry. The Nidoking and Nidoqueen go down pretty comfortably from Hyper Beams and Body Slams, and that brings us into the Rhydon. Can we one-shot it? Yes, we can. We get a critical hit. Oh my god, the amount of critical hits we've had is ridiculous here. Let's head over to the Pokemon League now, but before the Pokemon League, we have another fight against WooperGoat. And this one, honestly, I'm starting to feel like this one's harder than Rival 5. We've got to this at level 43. Ice Beam is a 2-shot on Pidgeot. So 1-shot on Rhyhorn because his special is just god-awful. We nearly 1-shot Execute as well with Ice Beam, but we have also been Leech Seeded. That's never good. So we're going to have to start pulling out the Hyper Beams. We're not going to learn Rage because that run's coming later on in the year. And then we get to the final Charizard. We are 9 levels below it. It goes for Flamethrower. We go for Hyper Beam. Ours wins out. And that means, oh, damn it, the ledge again. My greatest enemy, the ledge. That means we can now progress on to the League. The League is going to be sometimes difficult, but not all the time. I mean, the obvious one, Bruno, will not be a problem. Even though we don't have the type advantage, Bruno won't be a problem. I'm worried about Lorelei and I'm worried about Lance. Why am I not worried about Agatha? Well, we get Earthquake and that's super effective against 3/5 of a team. No, 4/5 of the team. But Lorelei, I'm worried about. So we're going into this first attempt at level 51. Body Slam is not even doing a 2-shot on Dewgong, but it puts itself to sleep straight away, which is perfect. We paralyse the Cloister on the next turn round, and this is just why you need Body Slam. Look how much damage, look at all the times we paralyse them. We Hyper Beam the Jinx because it's got bad defences, and that brings out Lapras. Now Lapras is scary. We managed to get paralysed and we tanked 2 Ice Beams, meaning Hyper Beam for the win. That wasn't the first attempt though, I actually started that at level 43. But then I went through a few multiple attempts and got to level 51 before I actually got a win. So yeah, don't take my word on it. Take my word on it. It took me a lot of tries to beat Lorelei. Bruno though, this is a first time win. Everything about this fight just works in our favour. They don't even go for submission, they don't even go for jump kick. They went for seismic toss of all things, which even though it's a fighting type move, only deals typeless damage. Next up is Agatha, and like I said, this is a very easy fight for us. We outspeed majority of our Pokemon. The Golbat can go down to a Hyper Beam. Oh, nearly went down to a Hyper Beam. So we had to deal with that recharge turn. This is Gen 1, so if you manage to KO Pokemon with Hyper Beam, you don't have to incur that recharge turn. If you don't, then you have to take a turn out. Earthquake on the final Gengar also doesn't take it out in one hit, which I was very surprised by. But we still managed to beat her very, very comfortably and bring ourselves into Lance. Lance, he likes to Hyper Beam a lot, and our defenses aren't the best. They're decent, but they're not the best. Ice Beam's not one-shotting the Dragonheads either. So we're taking chips of damage from every single Pokemon. And a big Hyper Beam also puts us on low HP, which is not good when you're moving into an Aerodactyl with Takedown. So we need to try that again. I feel like it was just bad RNG there. We're going to go for the Body Slam, and we get the Paralysis proc on the very first turn, which is great. Meaning Hyper Beam, Hyper Beam hits us as well. Can we get through these Dragonairs? We do, and we're on a lot more HP to work with on the Aerodactyl. We're on half HP going into Dragonite, and as long as it doesn't go for Hyper Beam, we're fine. There we go, that's how you beat Lance, and we're not even level 55. Let's see how we do against Champion. Give WooperGoat a big round of applause. He's been waiting for this video a long, long time. And he gives me a good run for his money here. The Pidgeot goes down to Ice Beam. Alakazam, we actually outspeed and one-shot with Hyper Beam. Ice Beam crits the Rhydon, and everything right now is looking perfect for us. We look like we're going for a good sweep. And then Executor comes in. Remember what I said earlier in the video that I was a little worried about it? Well, this is why. Hypnosis hits us, we take a lot of damage from Stomp and Barrage, and we have to try and go for the Hyper Beams on everything. Charizard manages to tank it, takes us down with a Slash. Damn it, WooperGoat. You managed to do it. Okay, Tauros, let's see how we do here. This time round, it doesn't look like we actually start off better. We don't one-shot any of the Pokemon to start off with. But when we get to the Executor, we manage to do half damage with an Ice Beam, and we don't get put to sleep. This is massive. Next, it brings us into the Gyarados, and it misses its hit, and then hits us with Hyper Beam. So we're on very low HP going into Charizard here. But Charizard locks itself into Rage, and we get the win with a final Hyper Beam. That was a quick run. That was a fun run as well. If you're going to do a solo run, put Tauros top of your list. That was very, very fun. Finished level 56 at 2 hours 45 minutes. That's quick. I'm going to have to check my rankings because that must get into SS tier. It's got to get it to SS tier with that time and level. But we've done it. Tauros run has been completed and we have got 10 Pokemon left. First up is Lapras. You know, we've been using it as a ride Pokemon this entire time. Maybe it's time to give it a shot. Clefable is second. Maybe it's been a while since I've done the Clefairy run. And last up is Executor. No, because Executor gave me a lot of bad time there. I'm going to go with Lapras. Let's give it its time in the sun and maybe we'll have our new best Pokemon because it is a beast of a Pokemon. Got to this point in the video, please smash that like and subscribe, you legends, and we will see you next week for the Lapras Solo Run. Take care.